Good morning, my friends. Welcome to our New Testament challenge. Today I'm going to share with you some thoughts from the first chapter of First Timothy. First Timothy chapter 1. Paul is he writes two letters to his disciple. He calls him his child in the faith, Timothy. He was a young pastor and kind of Paul's protege. And so we get a lot of some really good words of advice from an older person in the faith to a younger person in the faith. And so I think that's good. Not only the words he says, but how he says them, how he looks into it. So he starts about talking about false teachers. He says, all right, stick with what you were taught. Some people kind of wander away and go after their own thing. And then he says, the law itself is good, but the law was never meant to save people. It was meant to identify what is right and what is wrong. It's meant to shine light on what people have done wrong. And the fact that, and he states this on a number of occasions, that no one is able to completely keep every aspect of the law. It's not possible. Our human nature, it's not possible. And so he says, people who focus too much on the law, they're focusing on what they do wrong. He said, it's good for that. It's helpful. But, he says, salvation comes from faith in Christ, from the grace of God. And then I love this, he uses himself as an example. He says, I used to be foremost sinner. I used to be blaspheming. I used to be, going after the early Christians. I used to be, running as hard as I could against God, and that's what he meant. And he says, so I know what it means to be on the receiving end of Christ's mercy, to be on the receiving end of grace. There was no way I could save myself. No way I deserved mercy or grace. But that is the good news of Christ, is that none of us deserve it. And yet Christ wants to give it to all of us. So he says, it's just a reminder to you, that none of us deserve mercy and grace, but all of us are offered it by Christ, by God, by his sacrifice. Hold on to this. Remember these instructions, Timothy, and it'll go well with you. Hope this helps. Take care, my friends. We'll talk to you tomorrow.